I am Jason Worsma. That is Hampton the Bear, and this is the best damn fantasy football channel on YouTube. This is Tankers Fantasy Football, and we're going to get right into it with some Week 12 waiver wire ads for you guys. Now, I know this is getting pretty late in the year to be relying on some waiver wire ads to help you along, but I think we got some decent ones this week. We've got Josh Adams, who has been on the list before, but he went out there, got over 50% of the snaps, also got 3 receptions, which is a good look. Moving forward, he's actually willing to get a couple of passes a game. Didn't look that bad out there doing it either. Had the long touchdown run. I mean, if you look at it, he's got the Giants coming up, and they just gave up 100 yards and a touchdown to the likes of Peyton Barber. So I think this is an all-in situation on Josh Adams this week. And we also got Gus Edwards. I mean, Gus Edwards from out of nowhere. 0% owned. We're talking about Gus Edwards himself doesn't even own Gus Edwards on his fantasy team, baby. But we're looking at, what he got, 17 carries for 151 yards, a touchdown, got the 2-point conversion, came in, got it done, came in after Alex Collins was 7 carries for 18 yards. I know Collins had the early touchdowns, but he was 7 carries for 18 yards against the likes of the shitty Cincinnati Bengals before Harbaugh gave him the plug for Edwards. Edwards went out there, looked sexy. I mean, this might be a fluke situation. I think this is going to be a 3 or 4 running back by committee situation moving forward, but they do play the Raiders this week, so I think Gus Edwards can be picked up and started as a boom or bust flex play in Week 12. All right, we got some Jalen Richard and some DeAndre Washington. They say that Doug Martin isn't hurt, but I mean, I don't know. Moving forward, I think Jalen Richard is going to start seeing a lot more work. John Gruden's delusional ass out there fucking talking about how Jalen Richard could be 1,000 rushing yard and 1,000 receiving yard back. I mean, I don't know what the fuck you're smoking, John Gruden, but I think I need me some of that, baby, because Jesus fuck, you are high as balls out there. Another running back, one more running back looking to add this week. We got Diddy's over there scratching the piss out of my chair, being a fucking asshole. Knock that shit off, Diddy's. We got Theo Riddick. He's 46% owned. He's got 22 targets in the last 3 games. Talking about Kerryon Johnson isn't going to play this Sunday.
Not Sunday.
Talking about probably no Marvin Jones, no Kerryon Johnson. Golden Tate is traded. So I think those targets have nowhere to go but up. I think we're looking at 8-9 solid targets. I think we're looking at the Bears pass rush getting in Stafford's face, forcing him to do a bunch of dump-offs, and the likely recipient of those dump-offs, especially with Kerryon Johnson out of the game, isn't LeGarrette Blount, people. It is your boy, Theo Riddick. So I think Theo Riddick is worth a flex play in full-point PPR leagues. All right, getting right into some fantasy wide receivers. We got Traquan Smith, who went out there earlier this year, had 3 catches for 2 touchdowns. Then he died a terrible death. They brought in Dez Bryant. He got hurt. They brought in Brandon Marshall. He didn't play, but he's likely to play moving forward. But I'm not really afraid. I think Traquan Smith is a boom-bust wide receiver 3 moving forward. But he had the 13 targets, had the 10 catches for 157 fucking yards and a touchdown. I mean, he's got the Falcons in Week 12 and then Tampa Bay in Week 14. So he's got some juicy matchups coming up as well. So I think Traquan Smith, if on your waiver wire, I think he is definitely worth a solid ad. Kind of more of a dark, kind of a desperate flex play ad. This next guy, talking about some Bruce Ellington for the Lions. He was second on the team in targets behind Kenny Galladay. Had the 9 targets, caught 6 balls for the 52 yards. Didn't get in the end zone or anything, but that usage was, decent enough to put him on this list. Get him out there in your mind in these deeper leagues. Maybe you need a guy. Maybe you got Chiefs and Rams on bye. You just need a guy to go out there and get you 10 PPR points. And I think Bruce Ellington may be able to do that for you. All right, we got Kiki QT. I was talking about this guy weeks ago, even after the Demaryius Thomas came there. I think that I said that just means we can get some QT on the cheap. He went out there. He had what? He had 9 targets, caught 5 of them for 77 yards. But the bigger story is Demaryius Thomas went out there and got like 1 target, didn't catch fucking dick all, and had 0 fantasy points out there this week. So I think QT moving forward, easily the number 2 pass catcher in this offense behind DeAndre Hopkins. I think he can go out there, get it sexy for you in the flex as well. I'm looking to start him out there in one of my flexes moving forward. We got DJ DJ Moore had a breakout game, had 7 of 8 balls for 157 yards and a touchdown. Looking pretty good, and I mean, even looks better is his upcoming schedule, because upcoming schedule includes Tampa Bay, who are giving up the 2nd most points to wide receivers. He's got Cleveland giving up the 8th most points to wide receivers. The Saints giving up the most points, and then the Falcons giving up the 5th most points from weeks 13 through 16, right in the heart of your fantasy playoffs. So I think DJ Moore is also another guy you can look out there and put in your flex for the rest of the season. All right, we got some Cameron Brate at tight end with O.J. Howard. Talking about O.J. Howard might have a high ankle sprain. Going to miss probably 2, 3, maybe even 4 weeks. If you're hurting for certain on tight end, like a lot of teams are, I think Cameron Brate is definitely worth an add if available in your league. Oh yeah, we got that Gerald Everett. We mentioned him last week. Gonna mention him again. You know, he went out there, got the 2 touchdowns for the Rams last night in that fucking smoke show of a game. I mean, my fuck, that game was just off the fucking chain, just vomiting up fucking fantasy points out there. And we even had 3 defensive touchdowns in the game. It was just balls deep. You know, people like can't play the defenses in that game. Well, if you did, it fucking worked out for you. Everything fucking worked out for you in that game. But I mean, my goodness, baby, we're talking about Gerald Everett may be worth a look in these deeper leagues. Another quarterback, Lamar Jackson, went out there, got it sexy. I mean, 27 carries is not something that is sustainable in my eyes. I think they continue to run him like that, he is going to get hurt sooner rather than later. But moving forward, he does have the Raiders on the docket in week 12. So I think Lamar Jackson will still be able to pile up those rush yards, probably get in the end zone a couple times this week versus the Raiders. All right, you like the cut of my jib? Give me a share. Give me some comments out there. Any waiver trade questions, any who do I start questions, put that shit in the comment section below. I will get back at you. Mash the shit out of that like button, boys. I do appreciate some good button mashing, some like button piss mashing out there. Hit me up with all of that. I do appreciate the likes and the comments is what gets these videos in the recommended section of future Tankers listeners. So I do also appreciate that. All right, boys, I'll be back in that ass with some buy lows, sell highs, and some start 'em, sit 'em matchups later on in the week. See you there. Cheeseburger.